100% that even when I'm crying crazy. Yeah, I got boy problems, that's the human in me. Bling bling, then I solve them, that's the goddess in me. You put her at a bad, knock a middle. Help you with your career, just a little. You supposed to hold me down, but you holding me back. And that's the sound, I mean I'm calling you back. Why I'm in great till they gotta be great. Don't text me, tell it straight to my face. Best friend set me down in the salon chair. Shampoo press, get you out of. I just took a DNA test, turns out I'm 100% that even when I'm crying crazy. Yeah, I got boy problems, that's the human in me. Bling bling, then I solve them, that's the goddess in me. You put her at a bad, knock a middle. Help you with your career, just a little. You supposed to hold me down, but you holding me back. And that's the sound, I mean I'm calling you back. Why I'm in great till they gotta be great. Don't text me, tell it straight to my face. Best friend set me down in the salon chair. Shampoo press, get you out of. I just took a DNA test, turns out I'm 100% that even when I'm crying crazy. Yeah, I got boy problems, that's the human in me. Bling bling, then I solve them, that's the goddess in me. You put her at a bad, knock a middle. Help you with your career, just a little. You supposed to hold me down, but you holding me back. And that's the sound, I mean I'm calling you back. Why I'm in great till they gotta be great. Don't text me, tell it straight to my face. Best friend set me down in the salon chair. Shampoo press, get you out.
Hey, y'all. Y'all already know what time it is. We are back to talk all things House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 4, The Red Dragon and the Gold One. Listen, we have a lot to talk about. I'm going to bring the panelists up. You know them. You love them. Let's get them on the stage, and let's get into this episode, starting with who was here first, where you can go for all of your cosplay and book needs, right? See the Superior. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you today?
Hello, hello. I wish I could say hello and hi Valerian because we got a little bit more of that this episode. But I'm doing great. Very excited to talk about the episode and my boo Eamon because he's suddenly becoming one of my favorite characters. But yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Okay. Well, I hope when you learn High Valerian, you learn it better than Aegon. Okay. That's my hope and my prayer for you. Next to the stage, we have Kay. How are you doing today from the Fifth Wall and Horror and Hooch podcast? How is your day, friend? How you doing? How you doing?
It's been a long day. But I've been waiting on this part of the day because we got to talk about this one. I got some of what I wanted and some of what I didn't expect.
Okay. And you can't be mad at that. We can't be mad at that. And last but certainly not least, we have Dom from Screen Static Studios. Welcome, Dom. How are you doing today?
I am good. This is definitely the highlight of my day because I could not wait to talk about this one, so I'm ready.
Listen, it was a real episode, and so we're not going to waste anyone's time. If you guys are new here and haven't subscribed to any of these lovely creators, please go over, please like, share, comment, do all the things so we can get this live stream pushed out to as many people as possible. But y'all, I feel a kind of way. I do. I was in here. I'm not a cursing woman, right? But if I was a person who said cuss words, I think I would have said some real cuss words last night. I'm going to start with you, C. What were your overall thoughts of episode 4?
All right, overall thoughts. I'm glad we got a little bit of, meaningful demises, I'll say, this episode. It was time. Some people need to go, and I'm not talking about the little itty bitty kitties, God rest their soul. I'm talking about someone that, we've become attached to and, get a little bit of, insight on. I enjoyed this episode. It was nice seeing the action, nice seeing the stakes. No notes. I really enjoyed this one.
Okay. Kay, what did you think of the episode overall?
Oh, well, I said all the curse words for you, Ashley. I'm just going to let you know. I said all the things. Okay. All of them. I think it was a really good episode. There was a lot of elements and there really wasn't any slow parts because every part of the show it meant something. Like every little piece of it, there was like just something there that we needed. So we need more episodes like this one. I got back I got back the Game of Thrones feel with this one.
Okay. A lot of people said they were on their way out, but this episode pulled them back in. Dom, overall thoughts. What'd you think, sir?
No, this was the episode we needed. We got progression from on the story on like every front, and we got dragon fire, and the war has started. So on every level, this episode did what it needed to do. So I'm glad.
Said it needed done what needed to be done. And y'all, again, the first part was slow for me, but it wasn't, I guess it really wasn't slow, but Allison pisses me off so bad. And the curse in Harrenhal, those two elements really kind of irked me a little bit. So that was probably my thing. But like I said, by the time we got to the 30-minute mark, I was completely invested and excited to be here. Okay. Roderick says, RIP to the queen that should have been. Listen, true Targaryen, long live Rhaenys, period. The queen that never was, that should have been. Hey, Kibi, welcome. Hey, Joanne. Hey, friend, welcome. A says, sending love and respect to the queen who never was, the realest wisdom on the show. Rest in peace, Rhaenys. Yes. Amy says, I will definitely miss Rhaenys and Meleys. Yes, absolutely. I will miss the dragons. Needless. I read the book and I wasn't mentally ready to see Rhaenys and Meleys' death. Wow. Patty says, Allison drank the moon tea. I was screaming, hypocrite. I mean, we're going to get right into it because why not? We got time and that's what we're here for, right? Let's see. But let's start here, right? Damon's waking up or not really waking up, but it's still in the dream. And again, we're seeing young Rhaenyra, and this time they have an exchange. Okay. And in this exchange, she's speaking high Valyrian. She says, listen, Daemon, you made me. And now you want to take me out. Now you want to destroy me. Are you mad because your brother loved me more than he loved you? Next thing I know, he done pulled out the blade, head off shoulders, head still talking on the ground. Dom, did we need the talking head? What do you think about Daemon and Harrenhal? What are your thoughts?
Daemon needs some melatonin. He needs something that's gonna give him a more peaceful sleep. I don't know, but this castle is getting to him. But I think that this is a really good portion for Daemon because it's causing him to confront his like conflicting emotions. Because I think he genuinely is loyal. I think to his core, Daemon is a loyal person, and I think he genuinely has affection for Rhaenyra, but he just still sees her, like in the dream, he still sees her as something to protect, like a little girl that he has to like watch over, and he has to like reconcile those feelings with the fact that he thinks that he's the one for the position. Like I think he respects the position she's in, but he just thinks he's the one that's supposed to have that position. So I think his time in Harrenhal is going to make him confront those emotions, and he's going to end up on either on Team Rhaenyra or as her biggest op. It's going to be one of the two.
I totally agree because he felt like that. And they had a conversation, you know, when she says, will you serve me? Well, are you going to basically bow down? And he was like, I should be king. I'm the better option. So he definitely has to contend with that emotions, and being in the cursed castle is not helping, but we're going to get to that. Kay, is the curse of Harrenhal getting to Daemon? And what did you think of his vision, his dream interaction with a young Rhaenyra?
Oh, it's definitely getting to him. It is definitely getting to him. And I'm trying to pay close attention to the things because I think it's foreshadowing. And we know that within the Targaryen family, a lot of them do have like the gift of sight. They have a lot of visions, and it doesn't, just add that their family is generally very open anyway within like their third eye. Stack that on top of Harrenhal, stack that on top of he just met a witch. I don't see good happening for Daemon. in the future. It's not looking too good unless he changes unless he like has the moment where he has a change of heart. But if he stays on the path that he's on now, it's not going to end well.
Listen, I don't think you're wrong. C, what did you think of Damon still in the castle, still dreaming, still visioning?
A couple things. I wonder if this elixir that the witch gave him and this whole curse of the castle, is it really so much the castle, or is it really just it expediting his lunacy? Because the Targaryens, they have like a history of being a little crazy, right? And I wonder if this is just bringing out what's already naturally there, right? And as far as, I don't feel like Damon's that loyal. I feel like he's loyal to himself. He in there masquerading as the king, talking about call me your highness or your grace or whatever. He always doing something shisty behind the scenes. So I don't know how loyal he is. And the fact that he always bringing out that killer move with the slicing off the head, because that's what he did to homeboy in season 1, when he was talking smack about Rhaenyra. So yeah, it just makes me wonder if these visions are going to continue once he leaves this place, and if it's just like making him get faster into that crazy loony bin of the Targaryen curse.
Yeah, I'm kind of inclined to think that these are visions, right, of what's to come in one way or another, and depending on how he interprets it, it can help him dictate his next step. But I'm never gonna forget what the witch, the crow, whoever she is, and we'll get to her. I'm like, is she a three-eyed raven? Like, who is this lady? Is she a warg? Like, whatever. But she told him the first night, listen, this place is going to unalive you, Damon. That's what's going to happen. Amy says Damon's visions are something else, and they are right to his core. Okay. We've got some book readers in the chat, right? So you mean to tell me he'll deny a nutritious meal but guzzle the lean? Go ahead and stay in the trap castle. That's what I said. I said, is he really going to sit up here and drink this drink that this witch gave him? Mm-hmm. But again, we're back on more dreams. Now, this one was so interesting to me because we see Damon, right? And he's walking down, and I'm thinking at first, oh, he's chasing himself. Like, I'm like, oh, this is deep, right? He's going introspective, and he's got to look out for himself. But he sees himself, but his self is Aemond with an eye patch. Kay, what did you think of this? What do you think this means for the future?
They've always been kind of parallel to each other. If you think about it, like Aemond is also the second brother, like Daemon. So technically you wouldn't be entitled to the throne, especially if the king has a son. Aemond is he's all you got to do is say, let's go. Just like Damon, both of them ready to fight. Both of them will ride their dragons and do what needs to be done. There's a lot of parallels between the two, and Aemond is just becoming more and more like Damon, and I think Damon needs to see that, because maybe if he sees it in somebody else, he'll know what it looks like on the outside, because I don't think he knows how bad some of the things he do is sometimes. But maybe if he looks at Aemond's behavior, he can kind of see like, oh yeah, that that might have been messed up a little bit. And they both of them were responsible for the death of a child. Like, they're so similar.
Yeah, they do mirror each other, right? And so I just wonder what it means. I mean, is there a battle looming? See, I'm coming to you next. What do you think their fates are going to mean to one another down the road?
I hope so. I hope there's a battle coming, because if we being for real, he don't want another Vhagar. He don't want none of Vhagar. So let's not even fake. When we first saw him, I thought again he was following himself until I saw that little extra inches he got. Because you see, he had a little shoulder length as Damon, but he got little extra inches as Aemond. And the eye patch, they like Kay said, they do very much mirror each other. But I'm interested to see to what extent. So yeah, this was a very interesting scene. I enjoyed this one.
Okay, Dom.
No, this was a crazy scene, because when he turned around, I was like, because I think not only do they mirror each other, but I think Aemon is on his road to like literally become Daemon in the sense like I think they're going to meet. And because Aemon's already leaving the castle, leaving King's Landing, and he's already in the fight now. So I think they're going. I don't know if he'll end up in Harrenhal, and that's where they'll meet. But I think that they are going to meet, and I think the new overtakes the old, and I think Aemon and Daemon come to a point where now Aemon is actually going to turn into the new Daemon. That's what I think that vision is, because like you said earlier, and like people said in the chat, the Targaryens definitely have the gift of sight and their lineage. And Daemon had the first part of this vision in the throne room with the Iron Throne, which made me think of Dany's vision in the early part of Game of Thrones when she was in the throne room with the Iron Throne, and then it started snowing. And he was like, oh, snap. Especially like book readers had it immediately, but it took everybody else a little bit to recognize what the snow meant. And so I think that this is one of those type of premonitions where it's telling him what's about to happen, and it's going to come a little bit later.
Okay. I mean, I'm here for it. I like both of these characters. I can't front. For whatever reason, they make me happy. Now back to King's Landing, y'all. And now you're pregnant. Your husband just left this earth a couple weeks ago, and you're already preggers. That was my interpretation, right? We trying to unalive something that's already in there. Some people were saying, this, I think Joanne shared with me, another creator was like, she took the plan BT, whatever she did, but whatever this moon tea was, she drank it. Everybody knows your secret, sis. Like you're sloppy, you're messy, you're a woman of ill repute. I have nothing good for you, and your baby daddy is out here chopping off heads. See, since these are your people, this is your person, I'm starting with you. Go ahead, tell us.
I'm trying to figure out what was it that she was supposed to do. Of course, she's gonna take that moon tea. I would too. Nobody trying to be pregnant with this man, baby. Sorry, you just a munch. You just here for my enjoyment. I'm not trying to bear your children, sir. And yeah, she got it in a couple weeks after her husband died. But we got to keep in mind, he was a walking corpse for many years. She didn't really want to sleep with that man. That was something she was forced into. The girl was groomed. So good for her for getting her a nice little young thing to knock her back out when she needed. Good for her. I'm trying to figure out what she did wrong. Not a damn thing. I'm telling you.
Close your legs. Close your legs, because it wasn't just 2 weeks they've been smashing. She was well smashing before her husband took his little dirt nap.
But keep in mind, she's smashing as an adult, as a grown woman. Rhaenyra was smashing as a child on the sneak. So let's keep it real.
Alicent was smashing too as a child. I mean, she was married, but close your legs, Alicent. Close your legs. Close your legs. He's not a married man, but close your legs to married men. That's what I feel like I want to say. Kay.
Because isn't Kristen, because of the the Kingsguard or whatever, he ain't supposed to be having nobody anyway. He ain't supposed to even be doing all this. And now, if Alicent is right for doing what she's doing, so we gonna make Lori right too for messing with Shane after Rick was like dead for 2 weeks in a coma and he did moved on. I said, okay, Lori, your husband ain't even cold in the grave yet. We just already hopped on the next one. Done already hopped on the next guy. And she knows she keep that tea on deck because her sons are reckless and went and had some for herself. And I'm glad Larys came in and seen it.
We gonna get to that interaction. We definitely gonna get to that. Dom, what say you about Queen Alicent?
Look, I said it the first time they showed them coupling, I was like, Alicent bet not get pregnant. Alicent bet not. And she had to take the moon tea. I mean, that's the same tea that she gave the little servant girl that the Aegon had assaulted. So it's definitely the moon tea. It's definitely the plant tea. And yeah, the Maester know too. The Maester know, and I'm sure Larys know, and it's gonna get out because it ain't no secrets in the Red Keep. So there's too many rats. It's definitely a whole bunch of rats now. You can kill all the rat catchers. So that part I feel like it's gonna come out later. That's gonna come out so long from now. We're gonna forget about it, and then we'll be like, oh yeah, you was out here popping it. But
as she should. City girls up.
Well, my thing is this, y'all. Because you sloppy too. You're not only raggedy, but you're sloppy. All right. Because here's the thing. If you gonna get it in, if you gonna bust it wide open after every draw leg and not make Sir Crispy Cole, Sir Coochie Cole, as Les Dog says, that was hilarious to me. If you don't make that man pull out, I know the pull out method was a thing back then. He there are other methods, there are other ways to not be this messy. But again, everybody knows it's you. Shout out to the Grand Maester, though. This black man with good sense, okay? Because he comes in, drops off the moon tea and says, listen, do you need me to see about the young lady? Because, it's going to come with stomach pains, all of those things. He said, no, I'll watch the young lady seriously. But before he leaves, Allison says to him, I just got a question for you, Grand Maester. You knew the king. And he says, yes, I knew the king. And she says, do you think that he really wanted Aegon to rule? Did he ever tell you that? That man said, he ain't never told me that. I don't know what you're talking about. That's sorry to that man, but he has never told me such a thing, and dipped on out of there. This is what I call a strategic, smart black man standing on business in King's Landing. I loved everything about the interaction. Then we see Larys come in, knowing all. Right. And I said it in my recap that if he would have asked her to take off these raggedy medieval kitten heels and deal with her feet in this moment, I would have fallen out. But no, he was very much there for her in her time of need, watching her study the histories, because now she feels like she needs to open a book. You had 15, 20 years in the castle and ain't opened a book, and now you want to read all of a sudden. And so he's like, the king and da-da-da. And they have this deep kind of conversation about, what Viserys wanted, his intentions, they died with him. Whoever wins, that's who's going to set history. And I thought that was a powerful moment. Kay, I'm going to start with you. Talk to me about it. What you think?
And then she over here acting like she had an attitude that she was pregnant. Ma'am, you was out smashing all through the castle. Why are you aggravated and annoyed? You knew you was fertile. You already know. You already have children. So I don't know why this was like a whole new thing. And then you all, she ain't even the best of being secretive. She can't even hide the fact that she's sick. I mean, we might as well tell the world. You're not doing a good job. And then you let the wrong one come in here and find out. You let the wrong one see you. So either she gonna owe him something, or he gonna use this information to get something from somebody else.
He gonna use it, and we're gonna get into Larys later because I have questions about his nature and his intentions. Dom, talk to me. Tell me about it. What happened here?
Look, first of all, this black man has been in corporate structures for a long time. He know exactly what to keep his mouth shut. He's like,
my name is Bennett, and I ain't in it.
I ain't in it. He said, it's white folks' business. This ain't got nothing to do with me. It's white folks' business. And he got the hell up out of here. And somebody said in the comments, he said, I got a health insurance to think about. I need this 401k got to stay strong. I'm not in it. But Allison and Larys, I think that I know we're gonna talk about Larys in a minute. I think he's gonna use this later when to get Allison, all her power is gonna be gone later on when we deal with Kristen Cole and Aegon. I feel like this gonna be his Uno reverse card. But the feet thing, I think the feet thing's done only because we haven't even alluded to it since then. I think once he became like Master of Whispers or whatever he is, Master of Whispers, and he like is now in Aegon's left pocket, I think that deal is over with because they don't even allude to it anymore, and he just be showing up. But he need to be put on the wait list. He can't just be popping up in my room. That's what we getting her messed up. You put him on a wait list. He need to make an appointment. this just no knock entry is what's fucking you up. So you gotta stop it.
See, what say you?
I think this scene was very telling. One, like you said, the black man, he knew when to keep quiet. Good for him, because you don't want to be wrapped up in that, without needing to be. Secondly, we see that Allison questions what she thought to be true. That again, this whole time she thought that her husband decided to pick Aegon, right? And we know that's facts because she, even in the quiet of her own room, she's questioning it. She's asking the servants, do you think that he really do this? So she's going back and forth, or whether or not what she believed this whole time was true. So that tells us this whole time she was standing on business, what she believed to be true. We also see that she took the plan B, and he found out it was very messy of her to leave out the evidence, but she only been with two men that we know of, is the king and Cole, Crispy Cole. So she ain't like Rhaenyra out here smashing everybody out here in these streets. She doesn't have the experience to know when to cover her tracks. But I do love that she is, I think I said it in the first episode, that she doesn't have a voice. And I can't wait for her to find her voice. And I feel like she's finding her voice slowly but surely, which is why she's able to kind of go buck on them badass kids a little bit in this episode. She's kind of, able to make statements at the table early. I think in the last episode, she was saying what she believes needs to be done and how there's a war coming, unfortunately, which is something that she doesn't want to happen. So I love the evolution of Alicent, and I can't wait to see what happens in the next couple episodes with her.
I agree with Shameen. She's trying to find that prophecy. She's trying to see if Rhaenyra was really the only one to know of it.
No,
that
man,
heifer knows how to be sneaky. She knows how to be sneaky, and she knows how to be abusive to her kids. And we're going to get to that. I didn't think that was finding her voice. I think that was sending an already jacked up child over the daggum edge. But y'all, we're gonna cover it. She's a terrible mother. Now that we have Larys here, right? Larys has planted seeds of doubt with Aegon earlier in this season. Now he's there, he reading the. Let's be serious. Larys and his clubfoot sat in Harrenhal and read all the histories. Larys know the prophecy. Larys knows it all, okay? He's sitting there talking to Alicent about something he already knows, right? And my question to you guys is, what is Larys's angle, right? Is he more Littlefinger or is he more the Spider? And if you remember, Littlefinger was all about self-promotion. Littlefinger was never nothing, and he wanted to become somebody. He wanted to be a contender. While the Spider, with all of his issues, right, he really wanted, I think, the best for the realm. His motives were completely altruistic. They were about the good of the whole. I mean, he cut you up individually, but as far as the realm, he wanted it to prosper and go forward. Dom, I'm going to start with you. Who is Larys? What's his angle?
Larys is unequivocally Littlefinger, because like you said, Varys was for the good of the realm, and he would take off a toe to save the body, but that's what the point was. He only gonna cut off the toe if it's gonna save the body. Littlefinger is just gonna be whatever gonna get me to the end game, because Littlefinger was really just about what is gonna amass me the most power and influence, and that I think is more aligned with Larys. I do think Larys has a specific goal. I don't think it's just about amassing power and influence. I do think that he has a specific goal in mind, or a specific thing that he's after. I don't know what it is yet, but I think he's moving all these pieces in place to get into a specific, I don't know if it's to get revenge on somebody or if it's to get a specific seat or a position of power, but I think he has an angle like everybody, like how Game of Thrones, everybody wanted the Iron Throne and everybody was moving and shaking to get there. I don't think he's trying to get to the Iron Throne, but I think he's doing those same machinations to get to a specific spot. And right now, ain't nobody even hip to him. Nobody's paying attention to him. Nobody's seeing how this man is moving. And the only person that got this man's number is the dude in Harrenhal, who was like, we ain't had a fire here since they built this castle, but all of a sudden these two dudes burnt up in this room. Yeah, okay, he can't come back here. And so yeah, I think Larys is moving pretty swiftly right now.
Listen, Sir Simon says we know who Larys is around these parts. See.
I agree. He's definitely Littlefinger. We see he's been trying to ease his way up to be the hand, the king. He's trying, whisper a little something in Aegon's ear, whisper a little something. Whoever he need to whisper to, he's gonna do it in order to elevate his status, child. Okay, and he's using this whole, his disability and his sneakiness to do it. That's what it is. He's very unassuming, and that's what's going to be his. That's what has been his key in. And I don't think that he has anyone else's betterment in mind other than his own. Definitely
Okay.
Littlefinger.
Okay, Kay, what say you?
See, I see something else in Laris. I see a little something else. I see a little
Okay.
Tyrion in him. Because if you think about it,
Mhm.
in this so-called Game of Thrones, Tyrion wasn't seen to be useless because he, what did they call him in Game of Thrones? The imp, because he was an imp. And now Laris isn't that useful because of his club foot. And if nobody has use for you, you have no need to be wealth. You have no need to be sitting at the council. You're not going to be good for war. You're easy to kill off. They're not going to hook you up with somebody to marry. But now, if you can take what you are good at, which is lying, being sneaky, whispering, throwing shade, be conniving, you can find a little bit of power to where somebody thinks that you're worth something, and then they'll keep you around a little bit, keep you around and protect you. So I see a little bit of that.
Okay, let's go back to the comments, honey. Amy says, what Allison said to Aegon is probably why he went off in such a way. Listen, that's what I think. Kibi says, come on now. 2v3. Allison ain't too far behind with her stats. See? Laris is about Laris. Laris is too hard. It's so hard for me to read. I feel like Laris could be schemed his way to the throne by now. He's seeing the side he chose may be the wrong one. Now, this Shmi, you might be onto something here, because I wouldn't run it by Laris to switch allegiances. He doesn't seem like he's completely down for the current situation. And we know he was trying to cozy up to Aegon, which is why he planted the seed about Aemond wanting to rule with Alicent. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll definitely get to that. Kibi says Laris is a mess starter and is. Roderick says Laris wants to be hand. He's going to do whatever is necessary to reach that status. Okay. Laris will
just like
play with
Tyrion.
whoever he needs to get what he wants. Yeah. I mean, Tyrion just wanted to be chose. He
want to be useful. He want to seem like he's useful. Because what use do they have with him walking around that club foot?
Yeah, because what did Tyrion say? I drink and I know things. That's all I'm good for.
That's all
I drink and I know things.
And he did. He did. He was a drinker. And he watched everybody. Okay, so now we have Sir Crispy Cole, Gwaine, and Aemond, right? Between he and Aemond, honestly, and I know I've heard people say different things, but the method they took to isolate Dragonstone, I thought was genius, right? Let's not go directly to Harrenhal. Let's go to Rook's Rest. Let's get them. So then they're locked in land-wise. Nobody can get to them to help. We have all of these other bannermen from these houses, because once we take over and they swear fealty, they're on our side. But y'all, it was ruthless. I mean, when we see the scene with Sir Crispy Cole on that mountaintop with the man who won't bend the knee, it gave me Ned Stark, but not in a good way. It gave me like a evil zombie Ned Stark. Okay, when I saw Crispy up there with the blade, and the man was like Kingslayer, or what did he call him? Kingmaker is what he called him. And he said, you're going to end this way. You're going to end this way in kind. And I was like, look at him being prophetic out here in these streets. When is it going to happen? And I was hoping today, right? I hoped that at least his eyebrows would be singed off at some point in this episode. But alas, that didn't happen. But Gwaine is like, you're suicidal, right? Because you got us in these situations. The dragons are coming out. We've been doing all of our dirt in at the night, right? Because we didn't want to deal with the dragons. All the while, Kristen Cole knows the plan. He knows the plan that he and Aemond done concocted. And like I said, I don't like Sir Crispy Cole, but as a strategist between he and Aemond, I mean, that's who you want. That's who you want collecting people for your army. Dom, I'm gonna start with you because you're just so excited, it seems. About this. Talk to me about it.
No, this was one of my favorite parts, because you're right. The strategy was good. Aemond and Krispy Kreme are good strategists but I don't think their problem was how ruthless they are, because it's war, you're supposed to be ruthless. I think that their problem was that neither one of them have any experience. And so the plan, because all they do is move chess pieces on the board. They don't actually get out here in the weeds. And so they don't have a whole bunch of combat experience, like real war experience. And so the plan was good, but they need somebody who's been out here before, who understands actual dragon combat, who understands the cost of loss of life. Because yeah, the plan was good, but had Aegon not showed up, Rhaenys might have took out Vhagar. Rhaenys was putting up a good old fight, and they just think that because we got the biggest dragon, that means we're gonna win. And you don't understand that combat is about who can utilize their tools the best. And a smaller dragon can get into these nooks and crannies and scratch you up. And Rhaenys was putting up a fight. And had they understood that, had they had somebody there or listened to somebody who had an understanding of this, and understand that, yeah, we might win, but we're gonna lose. We tripled our force to get here, but then you cut it in half because she didn't burn half of it. Like, we gotta count our losses and do a cost loss benefit. And that's what I think that they were missing, is they was like, oh yeah, it's a good plan and sounds good, let's do it. And they just rushed in without considering all the other variables. But yeah, I like this because I love Aemon, and I love how he's able to adapt, and how he that man can see an opportunity and he will seize it. He is not scared to be like, oh, okay, the board is moving, let me adjust and make this the best outcome for me. And Christian Cole's time is coming, but he had to get taken down a peg today. That's what the end of this episode was. It was him getting taken down a peg. And I want to see him lose everything before he loses his head. I need him to really come to reality and realize that you are not who you think you are. And then we can lose his head. That's what I need for him.
Preach on it. Kibi says, I'm wondering if the scorched man that Cole tried to help up was Allison's brother. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I went back and I watched it, and I felt like Allison's brother took the castle after. I thought I heard him. I could be wrong, though.
I'm not sure, but I know the scorched man wasn't Allison's brother, because I don't think he had a helmet on when he was fighting. And the dude that Krispy Kreme touched was like fully armored. He was like a foot soldier. I think he was just grabbing the first foot soldier he saw, and it just happened to be an ashy man.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll definitely see. Kay?
Oh yeah, I think Sir Gawain got out of there. But let me tell you, Sir Gawain is petty, okay, and shady. So when they was talking about the plan, Sir Gawain was like, you ain't from there. Like, he letting him know, like we know you from the bottom, okay? We know you're not highborn. You don't know these areas like I do. So stay in your place. Don't get ahead of yourself now, because you know you really ain't got the power. And Sir Krispy Kreme be having to go do a little extra because he's still a little salty about that. That's why Rhaenyra didn't want him, because he's not highborn. That hit a soft place with him. It hit a soft place. I need Sir Gawain to stay around. Okay, this is what we need. A little bit of shadiness around, because ain't nobody telling Krispy Kreme about himself. Somebody needs to tell him about himself
on a regular basis. I agree. See, what are your thoughts on the strategy on Aemond, Sir Criston Cole, Gawain? What'd you think of that?
Gawain is the Nene Leakes of the show. He's on control and hit you where it hurt every time. And I love that for him. Like, I really like him as a character so far. But we got to give Christian Cole his props where it's due. He was coming through with these battle strategies. He's winning, land and getting folks on their side. So good for him. I do think that he does have a little bit of experience with these battles. When I think in season 1, when he came to fight in that tournament, he was already like some sort of knight and battle tested to a certain extent. It's really Aemond, that doesn't really have no battle for real. He's just on that big dragon and the big bully in the Sandlot. But yeah, I can't even be mad at Christian this episode, because he was doing what he said he would do. He's the muscle, right? He's not the thinker. Like I said before, he's there for the muscle and he's good at that job. He just doesn't need to be the hand, because that ain't his, that isn't his calling. That isn't where he's blessed in.
She said,
Um,
"This is not his ministry."
yeah, that's not that's not his testimony. But yeah, I'm glad he got a little bit of he saw. I think this is the first time he actually saw a battle of dragons, and that just completely. I can only imagine how that would look being on the battlefield and realizing how useless you are as a soldier once the dragons come into play. So
Krispy
it was
Kreme couldn't do nothing when them dragons came out. He ain't have no
right.
strategy. He just whatever come to mind. He ain't had no backup plan, and that's where he failed.
Uh-huh.
He had no plans for when the dragons came out.
I want to know what he's going to do about Allison when she finds out her child gone on his watch. It'll be interesting to see. I'll be here for that.
I hope the tea ain't work.
Roderick says Gwen is Otto's snitch. I think he will be seeing Otto back in King's Landing pretty soon after what transpired in this episode. And thank God for that. Cooler heads need to prevail. I miss Otto, if I can be honest with y'all. He was the only one on the green side acting like he had some part of sense to me. Now, child, we on the water. We on the dock of the bay. All right. And Rhaenyra rolls up to Alan and is like, baby, you so fine. I didn't know you were so fine. And you saved my husband's life. Your mama must be beautiful. And I said, his mama must be beautiful. And it was a look of pain, anguish, and surprise in her face. Corliss rolls up like, why you asking all these questions? Why you asking all these questions?
Right.
That's not your business. We later discover that Alan, honey, Papa was a Rolling Stone. Okay. And Alan is his child. And she says, which kudos to Rainey's, because how many women would do this? If Caitlyn could have done this.
Oh my God. That bitch.
I still hate Caitlyn to this day. Catelyn, whatever her name is, Raggedy Heifer. I still can't stand her to this day for how she did John. But anyway, I digress. But if she had been a little bit more like Rainey's and said, it's not his fault what you did, how he got here, give him his titles, his lands, all of that thing. And so in this moment, I'm like, dang, well, maybe Corliss will legitimize his son and give him a name. You know what I'm saying? Give the man a name. Kay, I'm going to start with you. Corliss been tipping and dipping. What did you think about this interaction and this scene?
No, Corliss, we had faith in you. We had faith in you. You're the only one out here that actually really love your wife. Don't nobody else love them. None of them. Nobody here loves. Why, Corliss? You let me down. You let me down. Because if it's him, who else is out there? Huh? What else we got that you ain't tell that's behind Rainey's back? What else you been doing? Well, he be on them boats all the time. Every time you turn around, he be like, I'm going out to sea. I bet you are.
See?
So at first, I was telling you guys before the show, I thought she was trying to put the moves on homeboy before her husband came out. I was like, oh, she about to get caught. She trying to talk about how sexy this little young man is, trying to get her a young thing. But it wasn't until you guys pointed out, like, oh yeah, that's his son. And honestly, I'm not even mad at Corliss because, yeah, he cheated, but he a good man. He a good man. He out here on the 7 seas.
That's a good man.
That's a good man, Savannah. He treat her right. And you never know. Maybe they had some sort of agreement. You know, he out here doing his thing. She doing her thing. They come together and have this beautiful relationship. Whatever works for you, I'm not here to judge, is working for them. Okay, good for them. But Rainey's, the hair was swinging. The hair was moving. Whoever did the wig this episode did the dang thing, because actually had some movement in its synthetic wear. That's what I want to know. But yeah, I feel like Corliss, he doesn't have much. I feel like he's more loyal to the titles than he is to his own like blood, because we see how he's not trying to give what's her name, Bayla, any kind of anything. And the way he was, you know, so quick to accept the bastard children of Rhaenyra without really, you know, popping an eye, it just speaks to me that why is it that you're so loyal to this family who's not your blood and is masquerading as that, versus a child who clearly is your child and you know it. So it's weird to me. I don't know what's going on, but he definitely got himself a sister on the 7 Seas. That is definitely 100% sister, whoever his mom is.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Because in Game of Thrones, we talk so much about the blood being pure, right? That was the key for the witch, what she needed. That was the key for all of the lines. But when we hear the Sea Snake earlier this season, he's talking about how the name is more important than the blood. He like, F all that, right? They got our name. They're going to carry the name on. I'm not as concerned with the blood, which is why I don't think he's going to be legitimizing Alan. But we shall see. Dom, yeah, tipping and dipping. How you feel? What
Look, when you on the high seas, they be look. This ain't nowadays where you get on a plane or get on a boat. You gone for a week and you come back. When he gone for months. He gone for sometimes years. And look, that man, that's a grown man. That's a grown man. So that was 20 years ago. That was 20 something years ago. And we ain't heard about no other bastards. That was 20 years ago. And look, Rhaenys said, I'm gonna stand beside him. I'm gonna stand beside him. And so y'all let that happy couple be happy. And that was the last time they saw each other. So y'all let this happy couple be happy. I think that they will. I think now that Rhaenys is dead, and the last thing she said to him was get this man what he has earned, and she's dead now. So any perceived disrespect to her is not in play now. I think that they're gonna let this man grow his hair out, and we're gonna see them that white fade he gonna have, and then he will be because you're right, he wants the name. And he wants the Valerian name, but he also wants an heir that knows what the hell they doing. Like his problem not giving the heir to these younger kids is because they've never been on the sea. Like they don't know anything about the sea and they really not interested in the sea. But here you got, but Corlys ain't a young spring chicken. Like he ain't got but a couple summers left. Well, I mean, he got a few summers left, but he ain't got time to be starting over. And so you got a man who is seaworthy. He know his boat, and he's a humble, honorable man because he saved them. He ain't looking for no payback. He's trying to do his job. I'm just trying to clock in, collect this 401k. The black men in this episode are securing the 401k. They doing their job and they going home. They clock in, do their job, go home. And so he's an honorable man. I think that I think Corlys would be dumb not to legitimize this man. Now, I think he's gonna legitimize this man and name him heir, and then that brother gonna mess it up. That brother gonna mess it up because he looked like a brother that messed some stuff up. That's what he looked like. He always looking to get a handout or something. So I think that's what's gonna happen. That brother gonna mess something up.
Or he's going to be unalived. That was my thought. I'm like, he legitimizes him because I'm like, that's a strong young man. He looks virile. You know what I'm saying? He would have some kids. Like, the name wouldn't have to end with him. But listen,
and anybody with a promising future in Game of Thrones is oof.
Yeah. Heavenly Game says Corlys got in different area codes and does. And clearly. Somebody earlier, okay, books, gers, and purrs. Hey, he probably has a sea wife at every dock. Wild. I mean,
hey,
that's a Navy man for you, right?
Well, what happens at sea comes back as a bastard. But hey, we gonna what can you do? The tides always come back in.
Kiwi 23 says, "Yeah, I got to see how he responds to his wife's death and possibly accepting sons." We'll see.
Corlys both of them.
So here's the thing: the brother I hear is a dragon rider, but he doesn't have the hair. So I don't know. Are they both from him? I mean, because word on the street is Corlys was with Rhaenys since she's 16 years old. And Rhaenys isn't a spring chicken herself. So they've been getting together longer than these boys are alive. So if he messed around and got the lady pregnant twice, like, come now.
At least it's the same woman.
Yeah, definitely.
But Rhaenyra's kids don't have the hair either, and they can still ride dragons.
That's true.
Because they're half Targaryen. Well, I guess
He
they're
took
half
that.
Valerian, so the
They
same
have
principles
Valerian.
apply, right? Because the Valerians can ride dragons too. Corlys sailed the 7 voyagers. He got biddies north, south, east, and west. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's no male heir. Maybe he'll ride a dragon. I know his brother does. I know the brother with the locks is a dragon rider, apparently. That we'll find out later on. All right, y'all. Let's get into this next one. I hate Rhaenyra's small council. I hate everything about them. They are raggedy. They hate women. I don't know why they're there. Fire them all. Rhaenys is trying to keep the peace because, they ain't listening to Jason Bayla. She didn't came back and like, look, they're building their forces. We need to take action. Well, Bayla, why didn't you burn them up when you had the chance? Because my queen told me not to. And how about you get on a dragon and you ride it and show me what you would do? You hear me? And they steady rapping. And so Rhaenys finally steps in. It's like, I'm trying to maintain the order. And they say, Princess, why should your word hold any more sway than ours? I'm like, y'all are some women hating people. And they said, well, she haven't even made you the hand. I told y'all, Rhaenyra, instead of doing her little side quests and missions, set some order at least before you leave. You hear me? Make Rhaenys the hand, give her some authority, empower her. And so they're steady rapping, honey, until the sea steak comes in. And it was a tent hut. Like, all right, sir. Yes, sir. And he's like, are we going to sit here arguing while the world is falling around us? And I mean, Corlys got some authority. He walked in some power and authority, and I liked that for him. Kay, I'm going to start with you. What'd you think of the small council, and what'd you think about this whole situation?
The small council been trashed since Daemon been sitting there. Okay. If Daemon was there, they would have been all with it, whatever they said. They be just riled and ready to go. That's Daemon's small council. That ain't Rhaenyra's. They here for his foolishness. And Rhaenyra know what type of people that she left them with. So that was wrong of her. Because she knew they was a little off because she could barely control them. But Corlys came through right here. He came through. I was so glad. Action. Walked in and said, I'm sitting. Okay, because I dare y'all to tell me what to do. He got the points back. I almost didn't like him a little bit, but then he came in. I was like, okay, we cool again. We cool.
Yeah, I was here for the sneak steak. I said, you could go in there and walk, get your swagger on, looking like you smell good. You know what I'm saying? He just one of them old, refined, dignified silver foxes, and I'm here for it. See, talk to me.
I agree, because even his wig was giving in this scene. I said, okay, yes, Big Daddy, come in and give you a little 2 cents. Get him in order. This is why she turning a blind eye to these kids, because that's her man. He going to protect her and stand up for her every time. And we love to see it. Yeah, this is definitely this circle of the council, definitely the She Man Woman Hater Club for sure. And I feel bad for Rhaenys because clearly she's the most qualified in the room, right? And she would have been a great leader. And she's stuck behind the shadow of old ranky, nasty old Rhaenyra. It's a shame, man. It's a shame she just got to work with what's been given. But again, Corlys giving him his flowers. Yes, come and stand up for your woman, his wife. He said, don't you talk about keep our wife name out your mouth. We love it.
Dom, what say you as the man on the panel? What say you?
And look, when a real man come in here and put that bass in his voice, let's get the movie. Yeah, I wish you would say something, because I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna touch you. I wish you would do something. No, and at the moment, so when this episode started, and in the beginning of this season, I was like, well, maybe Rhaenys will be the hand, and she definitely, I think, deserves and is capable of being the hand. And then, but when he walked in, first of all, when they threw it in her face, when they threw it in Rhaenys' face that she wasn't the hand, and then Corlys came in, I was like, oh, Corlys is gonna be the hand, because Corlys is because Rhaenys and Rhaenyra are two on the same side of things, and the hand needs to kind of be like the vice president, in the sense where like the queen is kind of this kind of disposition, and the hand can do some other things that the queen can't do. And I think Corlys, one, he can control the small council, and this council isn't that wild. honestly, this council isn't that much more wild than Aegon's council. They just a bunch of men that are more self-centered than anything. You just need somebody who can corral them and somebody they're gonna listen to. And when Rhaenyra there, when she's present and accounted for, they move like she want to move. She just every time they act wild is because she ain't there, and she didn't. And like you said, she didn't put any systems in place for stuff to be taken care of when she's not there. So she's not a good delegator. And so she need Corlys there. Go and put the pen on his chest. And he got time now because he ain't got no wife. And so and he finna legitimize his bastard so he can take the tides over. So he gonna have time. And he already got the largest fleet. He got the most power in there anyway. So that's who you want making your decisions when you're not there anyway. He's got the coolest head. Corlys need to be the hand. And Rhaenyra needs to stay her ass in Dragonstone. And if those two things happen, shoot, not that the king is country fried crispy. Shoot, this war shouldn't be that hard. I'm just gonna tell you, this war shouldn't be that hard.
I mean,
I don't know.
you're not wrong. So Rhaenyra brings her stale tail back home after an unproductive mission that we all knew that they did for the viewers, okay? Because silly. I stand on what I said. You know, before I take it back, I'll add more to it. Ain't no way she should have went with one companion to King's Landing. And Jace as much told her, you know what I mean? Told her as much. Jace is pissy at her because he's like, Mama, what are you doing? You're doing the absolute most. You're not here when we need you. It's messy. Of course, everybody is standing in full alert when Rhaenyra comes home. She tells them what she did. And they're basically breaking it down. Like, listen, Queen Rhaenyra, it's going down. And I said, if this heifer don't send a dragon, I'm going to fight Rhaenyra because stand all the way up. It's like, it's time. All right, it's time. And so they're talking and she's like, they think I'm, cautious, too cautious, but I just had to go and make sure that there was no route to peace. But now that I know it, I'ma go. Rhaenyra, shut up. There was no way in the world that you were going to be able to go. Like, the stuff like that is what pisses me off. Well, I don't want my dragons out there on the battlefield while I'm in the coziness of Dragonstone. Girl, who cares? And so, of course, we know in this moment, Jace want to go. I'll go, Mama, I'll go. And she's like, Jace, you can't go. You the heir apparent after me. Also, I done already lost a child, so there's no way you can go. So who volunteers? But Rhaenys, which we knew was inevitable. And I was saying in this moment, don't take Rhaenys. Don't take her. Mm-hmm. Don't take her. I wanted her to stay. But this is what we saw. Dom, I'm going to start with you. What did you think about Rhaenyra's return and the plan?
Rhaenyra is kind of similar to her father in the sense that I used to say in season 1, I was like, Viserys is a good man. He's not a good king. And I feel a lot of the same way about Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra is a good person, but she's not performing as a good queen at the moment. And I think even in Game of Thrones, somebody said that Jon Snow was hard for a good person to be king. But now that she has went through literally every step she could, and she's sure that there's no other way to get peace, because now that we know Alicent is delusional and there's no pulling him back from the brink of war, that she knows now this is the only way to unite the realm is I gotta win or I gotta die. And for a second I thought that she was gonna go. I thought she was gonna buck the system and just take her dragon and go. But also she needs some Daemon need to be here, because she needs some dragon strategy. She got ground troop strategy around that table. Somebody who need to be dragon strategist, because if I'm gonna send one dragon, I'm assuming there's gonna be another dragon that pop up. I don't know why. They got dragons too. Everywhere I go, I'm assuming it's a dragon. To me, and they got the biggest dragon. So I would send Rhaenys because she's the most battle tested. Send Rhaenys, but then I'm gonna send probably Baela. Mm-hmm. I would hate to send Baela, but I'm gonna send Baela, and she gonna do the perimeter. She gonna do the perimeter, and she gonna fly around and look like, hey, because we ain't got we don't have cell phones. Raven's too slow. If she ever need backup, we not gonna know. And so Baylor been doing surveillance this whole time. Send Baylor to do surveillance, and look, like only engage if it's absolutely necessary. Because if she did that, then Ray needs to go back home to her good black man. But because we ain't had no dragon strategists in the room, that we just thinking that we're gonna send one dragon across the bay and that's gonna be it. But they got the biggest dragon over there. I'm assuming everywhere I go that mug is sitting in wait. That to me was amateur playing. Like the fact that Damon and Christian's playing even almost worked to me is amateur hour over there on Team Black. That's why Damon need to come on back and talk some sense into somebody, because Rhaenyra was slipping. And that's where I think Rhaenyra is going to continue to slip. If she's going to be a good person, she's going to always go the moral route, and she's going to be a good person to rule. She'd be a good peacetime queen. She would be a great peacetime queen. She's not prepared for wartime, and until she showed me different.
I know. Beyond further, I mean, people on the panel might disagree with you, but Rhaenyra does have a good heart. We've seen it demonstrated. Now, what do people do? That's something different. But Lord, I don't even want to. But I'm gonna go to you next, C, because I know you're gonna try to say something else. We done already went down on Rhaenyra, came down.
I'm not gonna get too hard on her, but I will point the finger where it needs to be pointed. And Rhaenys's death is 100% Damon's fault. Y'all thought I was gonna say it's definitely Damon's fault, because his old raggedy tail should have been at the castle, and she wouldn't have had to have gone out alone had Damon, who's battle tested on the dragon, had been there to have the assist, right? She came out there alone. And what did they think was going to happen? So it's 100% Damon's fault, and by way of Rhaenyra, because she should have had that man home from beginning. She know damn well it's just Rhaenys there who really know how to ride a dragon, and all these amateur hours around sitting around. No, what's going on here? And the fact that she thought she was about to be 007, top spy last episode, going where she don't need to go. And the only reason she survived is plot armor, because really she should have been gone. But the difference between her and Aegon is about this slim, because Aegon done went on the battlefield where he shouldn't have went. Rhaenyra done went across enemy lines where she shouldn't have went. And the only reason she got home safe, plot armor. And I'm glad she finally shared the prophecy with her son, because how long you was about to hold on to it? Like, why is it top secret like this with your own child? Especially given the fact that we see, had your father not been so top secret with it, we wouldn't even be here today, right? So I'm glad that she, looped someone in on this little top secret prophecy. So then at least it could be passed on, and it won't be so much confusion, hopefully, if this were to happen again.
Yeah, I was watching a content creator earlier today, of course, going back to Game of Thrones and talking about Stannis's daughter. And we know that she loved her books, and she read this, and she talked about the battle between the half brother and half sister Aegon and Rhaenyra, and what resulted in that. And I thought that was a great little piece, not piece, but really the story. Now, Kay, Roderick says the Greens need Otto and the Blacks need Damon to balance that lopsided parameters going on in both councils. What say you? And what do you think of Rhaenyra coming on home finally? And the plan?
That was a dummy mission. She went on a whole dummy mission to find out Alice really ain't worth a damn. You knew she wasn't worth a damn when she slept with your daddy and stayed there and then let her son take your throne. So she went all this way just to confirm that Alicent was a dumbass. At that point, you should have said, we're clear to burn it all down. Now y'all are short y'all's biggest dragon. Melee's is their biggest dragon, and then now you're gonna have with Syrax and Caraxes, they're gonna have to double team Vhagar to do a little something. You should have said, Damon said in the beginning, he said, let's get all of the dragons. Come on. That's what he said. Over there before they pay attention. Let's go ahead and burn it down. This is the time we should be thinking about burning it down. There's no peace in this. There's no saving it. Alicent is choosing to be willfully ignorant to the fact that she got it wrong. Burn them all.
Yeah, because what's the point of reading the book now? Heifer, it's too late. It's too late. It's too late to read now. What does it matter what it said? Like she said. But anyway, while all this is going on at Dragonstone, Maylee or Masseria, right? White Worm is lurking. I just want to know real quick. We won't stay here a long time, but see, what's up with her? Can she be trusted? Is she really for Rhaenyra? What you think?
I like her. If I feel like she's as loyal as can be expected, right? She's going to, if you're loyal to her, I feel like she would be loyal to you. And so far, Rhaenyra has shown her that her loyalties at this moment are, aligned with her. So I don't feel like she would go, behind backs like that unless she has to. She's going to do what needs to be done if it needs to be done. But right now, I feel like she can be trusted.
Okay, Dom, what say you?
Yeah, I think she's loyal up until but I think she's loyal up until it puts her life in danger. Like she ain't putting her life on the line for nobody, but she's gonna be loyal up until it gets real dangerous. I think she's just been paying attention to all the other black men in the show. She's been paying attention to all these black men who stay in their lane and cash that check and secure the 401k. So she's like, look, y'all didn't ask me no questions. I'm not providing no answers. I'm going to speak when spoken to, and I'm going to clock in, clock out, and go home. That's all I think she's doing. We just had to keep her there in the background so we don't forget that she here. But, she'll come into play later on.
I'll be honest. I just didn't like her lurking. I mean, if you the master of whispers, come on to the table. Come on to the small council table. Like, sit down. Don't lurk around. See, when you start lurking around corners, whispering on the side, like that's what the part that makes me nervous. Kay, what say you?
I mean, if she there, go ahead and tell Rhaenyra what they talk about on the streets. Give her the tea. She need to know what's going on so they can go ahead and hop on these dragons. If this is what your job is, go ahead and whisper, hey, they talk shit about you in these streets, okay? It ain't looking good, so you might want to make some moves. Let's go have that conversation.
But I think that's Rhaenyra's fault because everybody in the castle don't know what to do. They don't know what their job is. They don't know what their hours are. I don't know if I'm on schedule, if I'm on call. I don't know. I don't know nothing. And every time Rhaenyra show up in the throne room, she only say 3 words and then she leaves. I want Aemon Targaryen. Leave. What we doing? I'm back. What we doing? And then leave. Like I need her to sit and actually rule for a little bit and put everybody. Where's my seat at the table? I ain't on name tags. I don't know where I'm supposed to sit. So that's Rhaenyra's fault. She need to get her life in order and get her house in order so everybody know what they're supposed to be doing.
I agree.
And why she worried about the prince that was.
I promise you're gonna lose this war.
I feel like White Worm. She's supposed to be the master whisperer, so she doesn't need to be at the table so much because she's there to collect the tea anyway. She got to be quiet in the corner so she can collect the tea and whisper what the heck was discovered. If she out there in the open being non-discreet,
people though, this is her team.
We gotta watch everybody.
And Larys sit on the small council table, and I think the Varys in Game of Thrones sat he was on the small council table. Well, I need to master whispers because I need to know.
A woman. She a woman. We already know this is She-Man Woman Hater Club. She got to be on the side collecting the tea.
Bayla's there.
Well, Bayla Royal. This is a random woman of color.
Right.
If you don't sit in the back of the bus,
a former working girl. They ain't about to pay her no mind. She got to be in there listening, and that's it.
Now, again, we knew Ray wasn't going to war herself, and we knew Rhaenys was going. So y'all are gonna see some slides just showing love to Rhaenys, the queen that never was but should have been. Meanwhile, at King's Landing, see, your king is unraveling. All right. He finds out that they didn't take Harrenhal. They go into Rook's Rest and he's mad. And Aemond had to get up there and school him in High Valyrian. When I tell you it was like a PhD candidate talking to a kindergartner in High Valyrian, the way Aemond owned him in that room, the small council didn't speak Valyrian, just the two of them apparently. And the way that they was looking, like that sounds really, really bad. Aemon's like, this is the plan. This is a better plan. All right. He explains everything thoroughly about why they're doing it the way that they're doing it. And Aegon says, I don't care. I don't like it. Bust out the Valyrian. And he's like, okay, what you gonna do, King? They're all waiting for you, King. Are you ready, King? And finally, Aegon is just like, I quit. I can't. See, talk to me about your people and tell me, what did you think of this small council meeting, Aemon and Aegon's exchange, honey? I was like, Aegon didn't pay no attention. Like, he knows 2 words of High Valyrian. Like, what the heck?
I gotta add this disclosure every episode because I am strictly here for Allison and Ava and Team Green. Because this man is a mess. He don't even speak High Valyrian. He hit him with the "we make war." Like, sir, what were you doing when everyone else was learning High Valyrian in the family? Where were you?
He's being low Valyrian.
Right, exactly. But I'm here for Aemon kind of like throwing his weight around a little bit. He said, "You gonna respect me, right?" I'm telling you, like I said last episode, villain origin story. He is no longer here for anybody. He about to embarrass you where you need to be embarrassed. And honestly, he is more qualified than the king to be the king. If we being honest with it, so far, he's showing that he is. It should have been him. That's what it's showing.
I mean, shoulda, woulda, coulda been. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Yeah, he went down bad in that scene. Okay, how'd you feel about this interaction? It tickled me.
It's not Aegon's fault because they didn't train him to be a king, but had planned to push Aegon as the king. That's why he wanted to have a son in the place. He wanted that to be king, but because Viserys already chose Rhaenyra, she got all the training. Rhaenyra was the cupbearer onto the small council and stuff like that. She sat around the table. She's got to know these people before. Aegon was in the streets. Okay, he was out here in the streets, making all little illegitimate children and stuff, drinking and all. So he making friends with guards and all this kind of stuff. He's out of place there, just like Sir Krispy Kreme is out of place being the hand. You got you got these fools out of place trying to do something they are not qualified to do. And Aemon is like, since y'all ain't got it, I'm gonna be the only strategist. Because I honestly believe that Aemon did not tell Mr. Crispy what he was going to do to Aegon because he looked very shocked.
Oh yeah, Sir Crispy didn't know that part. He didn't know. And I don't even know if Aemon knew in the moment. But like I told y'all last week, and I said I hate to be right, but didn't I call him Kinslayer last week? I just want to say it because you don't even get embarrassed like that with your little micro peen walking in front of everybody. You don't get embarrassed like that and don't want to get it back in blood. And then I went back to season 1, and Aegon would join in anybody who was making fun of Aemon back in the day. But I hate to see him go down bad like this. Dom, the king's unraveling.
Yeah, well, because the king's not a king, and y'all didn't make him a king. Y'all put a crown on him and told him and patted him on his head and told him to be a good little boy. This man, first of all, this scene was amazing because High Valyrian has got to be the best fictional language ever. And the way it was rolling off his tongue, to me, that was better and smoother than anybody in Game of Thrones. Definitely better than Dany's High Valyrian. This was the best High Valyrian I've heard, and it was pissing me off. I was like, you ain't gonna talk to me like that. Who are you talking to like this? Aemon is just, I think everybody's getting fed up with Aegon because they thought that he was going to be a puppet king. They thought that he was just going to sit there and they were going to be able to run the country through him. And now he's a person who has ideas and has opinion and is trying to be king, but he doesn't have the tools. And ain't nobody really trying to help him. And he also ain't really trying to listen to nobody. But they're really not trying to help him. Otto and Allison not really trying to help him be king. They're just trying to force him to do what they want to do. They're trying to feed him, but not teach him how to fish. They're just trying to give him fish. And so it's ticking him off. And this is all just both of these boys are a product of horrible parenting. They have a horrible mother. Alicent is right under Cersei as worst Game of Thrones mother. Like they and Aemon too, because up until today, up until this episode, Aemon has been ridiculed. Aemon has been talked about. Aemon lost an eye. Like all the kids was teasing Aemon back in the day, not just his brother. Everybody was on the hate Aemon train. The fact that he had his glow. Now he got his cool little eye and his cool eye patch, and he a big man now. Now he gotta get his get back. He got ain't peeping none of this. He ain't trying to mitigate none of this, and it's gonna get worse. Because I don't think Aegon's dead, so it's gonna get worse.
Yeah, he not from all that I hear, but we're definitely going to get into it. Did everyone answer this one? Everyone answered that one, I think. Oh, Lord. Damon's losing it. Okay. And he's got a new girlfriend. And I spelled, y'all, I meant which, Witch. I can't spell, so don't come for me in the in the chat. And I was like, is she a witch or is she a raven? Because I was like, is she a warg? She talking about she wasn't supposed to be a woman. She's supposed to be a tree owl. She's making concoctions for him to drink. She's telling him that sleep is thin here, that he is sleeping in the heart tree, right? The trees that talk to people. And that's why he's having the crazy dream. She knows all about it. And yet he takes the cup and sips, forgets he's in a meeting, forgets he done called the Blackwoods to come and meet about a possible allegiance. He done met with the Tully boy and made the Blue boy cry because he didn't have no power. Y'all, it was a lot going on at Harrenhal at this moment. Dom, I'm going to start with you. What you think of Alice Rivers? What you think? Oh, we can't hear you.
Oh.
Now we can.
You hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Women can get a man to do anything. And because it was only because they said he's been there a fortnight. So 2 weeks ago, you would eat dinner here. But this one woman who couldn't be more of a witchly type of person if she had a Slytherin robe on. Like she dressed in black, she got black hair, she talking in riddles, she's saying crazy things. She only went up in the middle of the night just making stuff. You don't drink that, but she talked to you nice, and you ain't had none in a while, and so you gonna drink it. This is Damon. I love Damon, but women be his downfall, and I just. This gonna be the reason she gonna be a self-fulfilled prophecy because she told him he was gonna die here, and she gonna be the reason why.
And you like it.
I don't dislike her. I dislike how Damon is already falling for it. Like she didn't even really have to try.
He loves it. He likes her freak. Anybody gonna match my freak? Absolutely. They feel like they match each other's freak because he was like, "You're a strange woman," but you like that strange woman, Damon. See, it feels like you got something to say. What say you?
I'm just gonna clock it because this man ain't loyal for nothing. He ain't loyal. And before we make the Corliss comparisons, Corliss would not. He do what he do overseas, but he ain't gonna be overseas talking smack about his wife. Damon over there in this other place, high key talking smack about Rhaenyra a little bit, pretending to be the king, and now he about to cheat on his wife. Come on now, this man ain't loyal for nothing. And if she's a witch. Or even, I don't know what she is, but I know she got some power. And I know she ain't afraid to use it. And she's some sort of vixen seductress out here because he is definitely falling for whatever it is she's selling. And I want to know what her angle is. I want to, why? You know, what's going on? What kind of bone she got to pick with the blacks? That's what I want to know.
With the blacks.
With the blacks.
That's crazy.
With Team Black. That's what I want to know. Because there's something there.
Oh, I think she just don't like Targaryens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, but she's a she wears many hats. Apparently, she's the new Maester. She deals with everything in the castle as far as Harrenhal, the sickly people, all of that. Kay, what do you think about Alice Rivers and Damon wanting to get them draws? We know he wants it. and they're gonna have some weird sex. We just know that already.
Damon just every second he keep talking to her, he is just bringing his foot closer and closer to the grave. Because why? She like Don pretty much giving you all the signs of a textbook witch, and he needs to get out of Harrenhal. It's not doing it's it's making his mind in a place where it shouldn't be, and this ain't the time for that. Okay, we're at war right now, Damon. We need you to be all of your normal self and get the hell up out of there, because the longer he stays there, he is going to go mad, and everybody is always going to say that's those Targaryens again, losing their mind, going mad. You need to get the hell up out of there and stop.
Amen. Immediately. And so y'all, again, the queen that never was, that should have been. And she's going to battle. And like I said, this is a stan account for Rhaenys at this point, because it's time for war. And this was actually one of my favorite scenes of the episodes, where we got to see Aegon and Sunfire and Rhaenys and Meleys, and just the bond that a dragon rider has with their dragon. I thought this was so adorable because, Aegon's goofy. He tipsy. He done spilled the flagon, broke it, you know what I mean? And still he gets into his dragon's presence, and Sunfire loving all on him, and he's loving on Sunfire. And Meleys like, baby, we about to go to war again. We done been here before. What did y'all think of this moment? I'm gonna start with UK. You're muted or frozen. We'll come back to Kay. C.
I thought it was nice that we did get to see the bond between the dragons and the riders. I love if we can go back to that last slide where Rhaenys on the dragon, killing them, looking great. Got her, her sternum on. She ready to roll with her black fit. Love to see it. But yeah, her bond with her dragon was so special. And this would make me feel a little bad. I ain't gonna lie. I felt a little bad. And Aegon, him and his dragon, they got a little connection too. That's his friend, his buddy. They, grew up together, if you will. So, yeah, it's time to go to battle, though. So, yeah, you gotta strap up.
Kay, are you back? No, Dom. What did you think about this scene with their dragons preparing for war?
This was such a heartwarming scene, even on both sides. And it shows that, and this is where the show shines, in the sense that it separates itself from Game of Thrones, because in Game of Thrones we were with all the different houses, we were all the different people, but here every side is the Targaryen adjacent side, and so we got. So regardless of the division, it's like Rhaenys said in the last episode, where the war gets to a point where we forget how it's.
You're cutting out. Your sound cut out, Dom. There we go.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. But we all having technical difficulties today. But it's heartwarming. We got real people on both sides, and this was just heartwarming. And then because both of these people were casualties as well too, and so it was full circle, and we showed the cost of war on both sides. And so I thought this scene was one of the best in the episode.
I totally agree. And Kay will hopefully be right back, y'all. I think they're having storms and stuff down there too. So ciao. Aegon's riding in. Aemond is like, this daggum idiot is here. Rhaenys is like, you right on time, bruh. You are right on time. I mean, she does a little bit of damage before he rolls up and engages with his little mini Dracarys. She busts through the flames, and I'm like, Meleys, listen, the dragons, the dragons who are battle worn know what to do. Like, they need to have a good rider, but just like Vhagar is going to act on their own, I think at this point, Meleys knows what's up. and knows how Rhaenys wants to operate. Aegon, even though he and Sunfire have this love affair, Sunfire ain't built for this life. Sunfire, poor stink is how I felt about that. And so they're into it. Aemond is like, not yet, Vhagar, just stay here low, hidden in the trees. And I was like, oh Lord, here we go. Here we go. Y'all. Aemond finally gets in the air and he is like, I see both of y'all. This is the opportunity that I've been waiting for a lifetime, because you shamed me for my micropene and my grandma hoe, my granny hoe, right? I feel a certain type of way. And so it's 2 for 1, Dracarys. And I'm like, and the look on Aegon's face was priceless, y'all. I couldn't get a good still shot of it, but he went from joy, like my brother's here to save me, to like, and when we saw him fall out of the air on the ground, y'all, I was like, he went out bad. He went out real bad. But outside of that, at this point, I thought Rhaenys was gonna leave. Because when Vhagar and Aemond fell back, I said, "Oh, this is your prime time. You're over the water, Rhaenys. Go home, girl. Let's regroup for another time. Let's live to fight another day." But she didn't, and she went down like a G, you know what I mean? Fighting for the people. She burnt some stuff up on the way out, but so did Sunfire and so did Vhagar. They killed a lot of their own people, mass casualties. Dom, I'm gonna start with you. Or no, Kay's back. Kay, I'm gonna start with you. What did you think about the dragon battle, Aemond's decision, and Rhaenys's passing on?
Oh, this was everything I was waiting for. And I think Rhaenys knew she was going into battle. She knew how hard it was going to be. I think what she wanted to do was if she knew she couldn't take them by herself, she wanted to harm them and weaken them so the next people can come along and do something. She said, as long as I get a few taps in to make it. And Aemond ain't. Aemond, you know, if it was that, Aemond was playing the long game. Aemond playing the long game. And poor Sunfire, he wasn't ready. Sunfire was not ready for that battle. Drunk drive, having Aegon out here drunk driving. But who let him do that? Where was his King's Guard? Why they let him out the house to do that?
His mama did it. His mama told him he wasn't ish, wasn't ever gonna be ish, not to do nothing, and so that's why he decided he needed to do something. Dom, what did you think about the battle? This was my favorite part of the episode, if I can be honest with you. I loved the dragons.
Oh yeah, this is where Game of Thrones. This is where all that budget go. This is where all that good Game of Thrones money go. And this was great because this showed war in a different way than we've ever seen in Game of Thrones, because this isn't one side versus another side where it's very easy to tell who's who, and we can tell who's winning and who's losing very easily. Like, this was chaos. And especially as soon as the dragon, when Vhagar was stomping on people, and I'm like, wait, what? That was they people. He just stomping on everybody. And because dragons don't care. Dragons don't care. They like, I'm trying to burn stuff and eat stuff. And when once Aemond said, well, hold on, we ain't gonna go just yet, I'm just like, oh, it's over with for my boy Aegon. I thought he was, well, I don't think he's dead, but Aemond definitely took his opportunity. And Aemond been waiting. He's been waiting patiently for an opportunity to supplant his brother, because he knew his brother's a mess up, and he was waiting for him to prove him right. And I think this was a great opportunity, and he took it, and it was great. But Aemond, and he really need to thank Aegon, because had this boy not showed up, then I don't think Aemond is coming out of this. I think they both. I think Rhaenys dies regardless. I think she would have died regardless. But I think that she would have took Vhagar, or at least Aemond, out in this battle. I don't think that Vhagar would have won. I think he would have been wounded. He might have died, and Aemond would have died if it was just him versus Rhaenys. But Aegon showed up, messed some stuff up, and now the Team Black lost the queen as far as chess pieces go, and Team Green is just real hurt.
See,
Okay, a couple things. I don't think Rhaenys really wanted to be there. I think she was there out of duty. And because if she didn't go, who would, right? Because we kind of see that even in season one, she was kind of Team Green, kind of Team Black. She was kind of towing the line for quite some time. And I feel like she still feels that way, but now that she's made the decision to be Team Black, she's going to see it through. I also think that poor Sunfire, her and Aegon got the same energy. They just there to drink, have fun. They ain't really about that wartime like that. And it's a shame that he done dragged poor Sunfire out there because she wasn't prepared. She wasn't ready. And it was a mess. And him going out there, I know we want to blame Allison, but that ain't nobody's fault but his old raggedy daddy, unfortunately, because the same way he was bringing Rhaenyra in these rooms, he could have been bringing Aegon in these rooms just in case. You know, you got the heir and the spare either way. If it was Rhaenyra, it should have been the heir and the spare. But he was so focused on Rhaenyra, who's still out here making these stupid decisions like she wasn't in the room with her daddy when he was making, being king. It's really a failure of the father more so than a failure of the mother, because as we see, they don't even listen to Allison anyway. So had she had been like, oh yeah, baby, you can do whatever you want, he would have just like, shut up, mom. I hate you, mom, like he liked to do. So but I do love Vhagar. I didn't like him at first last season, but the more I see this dragon, honey, the more I love him, because he just out there on the battlefield doing what needs to be done. He don't even be moving his wings like that. He just would be one swoop.
And Vhagar got holes in every single wing. I'm like, how is Vhagar still airborne at this point? Vhagar have been through
determination. That's what's keeping him in the air. He's battle ready, bloodthirsty. I love it.
Lord, Vhagar. And I just want to know, is this the reason? What is the reason? Was this the reason, Kay? We bringing back a slide from last week. Was this the reason Aemon said, let's just do a 2-for-1 deal. Let me take my brother. Let me become a kinslayer. Was this the reason?
That was the last straw. Was the reason. That was the last straw right there. He was thinking it in his mind the whole time. He was like, I'm gonna do something, but that was the last straw. And and then Sir Crispy out here telling everybody in the field, look, our king has come to fight with us. Boy, to do what? Fight and do what? What did Aegon do? Sit down. You just wanted to put your words in something to make it seem like you had this planned out in the beginning. Him and Aegon need to go sit down somewhere.
Immediately. See, was this the reason?
I feel like it's part of the reason, but the real reason is he made him deny his wife in front of everybody. That's the thing. His old grandma girl, that's the love of his life. The love of his life. And the fact that he had to deny her, that's what did it. That's what did it. That's what did it.
Granny ho, Dom. Was this the reason?
This was the straw that broke the camel's back. This was when he was walking away and you saw him have his chin up. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. When he was walking away and he had his chin up, he was looking, he was like, okay, that was it. That was your last one, boy. That was your last one. That was all it was. So now that was it. So now it's time.
And now he's Aemond Kinslayer. Now, we talked about this a little bit before when we had the Battle of the Erics, right? And how Kinslayer is one of the worst titles outside of Kingslayer, like Jaime Lannister was. Kinslayer is about equal to that. When you take out your own people, it's terrible. How do you guys think that Aemond is going to fare now that he may be not even a Kinslayer, right? Because in the next scene, we'll just go there, right? Well, we'll go back to burn up Crispy. I wanted to see him burnt up. We'll go down to here because he's with the blade, right? He sees where Aegon went down. He went to find him in the forest with his longsword and looked like he was about to just go on and finish the job. But Aegon is probably still living, y'all. Okay. What do you think? Is Aemond a Kinslayer? Or is Aegon still alive?
Either way, they're going to blame it on Rhaenys. Okay. They ain't gonna say Aemon did. Either way you spin it, they're gonna say it was Rhaenys' fault. They're gonna say, "Oh, Aegon, that wasn't me. That was Rhaenys." And if he died, "Oh, I didn't do. Rhaenys did that. That's why I used Vhagar and I went and I got her. I killed her because she shot down my brother." They're gonna spin this to where his hands are clean. But I really hope that Aegon is still alive out there to tell the truth, and he need to go out there and tell Otto. We need Otto at this moment because the house is awry.
Will Aegon be able to talk? I mean, Dom,
See, yeah.
if he made it.
Yeah, this is what I think. I think he is, because I think what happened earlier in this episode kind of set the precedent for what we're gonna see later. Because when we were in Harrenhal and we were talking, and Damon was talking to the Tully boy and was talking about how people not supposed to move when their lord is like without their lord's blessing, regardless of the condition of the lord. You're supposed to move when the Lord say so and not before. And so I think that this is what's going to happen to Aegon. I think Aegon is a crispy chicken, and he can't talk, he can't move, he can barely breathe. I think he's going to be bedridden, and I think they're going to keep him in the Red Keep. Well done. And then now I think Otto's going to come back. And now, because now Aemon is because really he did what his mom wanted him to do. Because now he's going to lay there and do nothing. He's going to be a king that is going to sit there and do nothing. So now everybody else can run the country like they want to.
Just like Viserys laying there like the Crypt Keeper doing nothing.
Exactly. He's going to be just like his daddy. And now Alicent, and that's why I don't think nobody's going to know. I don't think nobody's going to know what Aemon did until maybe later, but they're going to go home and they're going to be like, oh my God, it's so terrible. And because Crispy Cole is, even if he he's not going to say nothing, because without Aegon, he loses all of his power. Without Aegon, he's no longer the hand. Without Aegon, he's probably not the King's Watch, definitely not the head of the King's Watch. And so he's just going to use this opportunity to get close to Alicent and secure his own position. But yeah, I think Aegon is a vegetable, and we just gonna move through him and act like he's saying stuff.
Okay. Well, I mean, I like blame it on Rhaenys. I think that's the lie that will carry both Aemond and Crispy back as heroes. You know what I mean? Unless somebody said it in the comments, unless Gwaine tells the truth of what happened. You know what I mean? See?
You didn't see nothing.
I wonder, when we see Aemond at the foot of his brother, right, after he's already been burned up, I wonder, was he there to finish the job?
Yeah,
and Crispy came up on him, or was he contemplating kind of like having his, just like laughing at him that, yeah, you were talking all this big mess about me and look at you now, you got what you deserve? Because I feel like there's this escalation of Aemon's violence. We see in season 1, Vhagar took out the little boy, and that wasn't necessarily what Aemon wanted to do. He was shocked by it. We also see that in this episode that he's, got his brother got his just desserts, right? So I wonder if Crispy had not have shown up, would have taken it there or not. I'm not sure. But I do feel like if anyone were to find out what he did, they would be upset, but they also feel like Argon wasn't prepared to be king anyway. So he kind of did the kingdom a justice by doing it, because you got this boy who's unqualified out of there, right? So I wonder if he is deemed unfit to be king because of his possible, if he's incapacitated, will it go to Aemon? Like I want to see what happens.
I think they rule how they ruled in Game of Thrones, right? When the kids were too young, Cersei ruled in their stead with the hand of the king. So if he's incapacitated, I don't think they'd even tell the small folks. I don't know. You know what I mean? I think they would rule in his stead with him still being like the figurehead. And I agree with the comment section. He was definitely going to finish the job with that long sword. It was up and it was stuck.
Well, see, I think when Christian was walking up behind him, I think he was already putting it in his sheath. Like he wasn't taking it out. I think he was already putting it back. Now he might have picked up the dagger and finished it, but I think he walked up with it already out and saw that Aemon was kind of crispy already and was like, "Oh well." I think Aemon thought that he was already dead. That's what I think. I'm not saying he wasn't there to kill him. I'm just saying he thought he was already dead and he was putting the sword up. That's what I think.
Was that Aegon's dagger? You know,
Yeah.
that was
The
so
Valyrian
he
steel
was
blade.
just there to just be like, yeah, I got what's yours. I don't know. It's
Yeah, he
interesting.
had on Aegon the Conqueror's armor. Remember, he had pulled it
Mhm.
out because he felt like he was going to be whatever. So the dagger, the armor that's now burnt to him, apparently is the thing. Now this pissed me off, y'all. I can be honest. Like I said, I at least wanted his eyebrows singed, half of his hair, like hair on the left side gone. I knew we weren't going to get to see Sir Crispy Cole out of there completely, but I wanted him hurt more than he was, y'all. I just had to say that. I mean,
He
I
took pretty
just
far that.
Yeah.
y'all, next week, episode 5, what is next? I'm gonna start with you, C. What are you trying to see in episode 5? What are your thoughts?
I know it's going to be chaos in Team Green because what are they going to do to kind of, spin this situation? The king incapacitated. It's been a mess. They lost a big player, right? So I want to see how they're going to spin it, right? And if they're going to bring back Otto because clearly he needs to return. And I'm interested to see more of Damon. Is he gonna just keep getting crazy and crazier? He gonna when he finally get the coup from the witch? Is it just gonna take him over the edge? Is he gonna be extra crazy after getting it? But yeah, that's what I want to see in the next couple episodes.
Okay, Dom. What do you want to see next?
Next, I think usually when they have a big episode, when they have a really big episode, the next one is kind of slow because we got to pick up the pieces, and not slow, but just more. It's like more dialogue heavy, and so I think it's going to be an episode of, the ramifications of what just happened on both sides, and so we're going to see some mourning for Rhaenys. We might see like a bodiless funeral or a vigil or something like that. And then we'll see King's Landing in chaos. I think, King's Landing, not the Red Keep. We don't see the Red Keep in chaos because I think the episode is gonna open with them ushering that boy's body back into the Red Keep and Allison freaking out because she done lost. What is this? Her third kid? How many kids has she lost just this season? Like she is losing them, and she running out of spares. And so, I know Aegon's not. Is Aegon her kid? That's just hard for me to keep.
Yeah.
Aegon is her kid, but also Rhaenyra's brother.
Yeah.
This family is ridiculous. But but I think they're gonna pick up the pieces and they're gonna decide how they're gonna move forward. Like as far as ruling in his stead. And then I think Otto shows up at the end. Otto walks in like I'm don't call it a comeback. That's what I think happens next episode.
Okay, Kay. Any predictions for next week's episode?
I mean, are we gonna send a raven to get Damon, or somebody can fly? Can Baela fly out to go get her dad? Can we do something? We need to pull him out of Harrenhal. We need him and all his shining glory right now. He ain't got time. He over there going mad in Harrenhal, thinking he doing something. This is not the time. Okay, we've conquered it. You don't have to stay there. We got what we need. Somebody need to do something and let him, because I feel like if Damon knows what happened to Rhaenys, not that he completely loved Rhaenys, but all he needs is like an inch so he can take a mile. It's time to take the mile. It's vengeance time. It's time to burn down some stuff because we've been playing around. We've been playing around with these greens way too long. Let's go.
What, Don? What's up?
I didn't think about it. Oh, I just thought about it because the comments was talking about Corlys' son if he would come back, and I was thinking that when Otto come back, he will come back with that phantom son we ain't never seen. Remember, Allison got another son out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
With another dragon. So I think Darren might show up next episode. So that might be because we need somebody. So
We do. And for me, y'all, I just listen. We had our dragon battle, but I just want to see Damon again leave Harrenhal because you just go back to Dragonstone, meet with Rhaenyra, because at this point they have Rook's Rest. The Greens have Rook's Rest, right? And so I mean, even though they suffered a lot of casualties, they have the majority. They have the army, and so I just need to know. I need Rhaenyra to again stand up. Okay, they're gonna have to count this loss. I do want to see what happens with the sea snake and how he's going to grieve this situation if he is going to be made hand of the king. But for me to stay on board with Rhaenyra, I'm gonna need her to step it up like 10 paces. Like I need her to be about her business and strategize for this war because war is up on us. You know what I'm saying? Like, ugh, and I'm just over it. But y'all, we did it. We did it. That was episode 4 of House of the Dragon. We got like 60 some people in here at one point, consistently like 50 some people in the chat, which is amazing for a Monday night. Y'all know how I feel. Thank y'all so much for being here. We love you down real bad. And so I'm now going to give everyone the floor to talk about what you guys have going on your channels. And I am going to start with you, Kay. Let me see. How do I? Child. There we go. Well,
hey. So, y'all see me. Y'all hear me. Horror people, sci-fi people, comic book people, come on over. I got reviews for new movies, such as I just did a quick review for A Quiet Place, Day One, The Watchers, Tarot, Godzilla -1, Imaginary, Abigail. We're talking, of course, House of the Dragon. Let's see, The Boys. I've got some throwback movies, some underrated horror movies, some horror movies that you might have seen, some classic horror movie reviews and recommendations. So if you ever need anything to watch, you can't think of nothing to watch, I need you to hit that subscribe button right there. Hit that subscribe. And we need to see all of y'all back on Tuesday because we are spinning the block and we are going over Interview with the Vampire, season 1, episode by episode. So we need y'all to come back tomorrow.
Period. Y'all go subscribe to Kay. She is so close to 1,000 subscribers. Yes. Please go support. Please like, comment, share, watch some videos. Get her watch hours up there. Next, C. What you got going on, C?
All right. So over on my channel, you know, I do book reviews where we're currently reading You Shouldn't Have Come Here by Geneva Rose. Also, I too just released a short about the Quiet Place Day One. So you can check out my review right there on my channel, See the Superior. If you are into character battles, you can join me on Instagram at See the Superior, because the weekend after this one, we're going into a character battle of Mario versus Shadow. And also, if you're going to be in the DMV area this coming weekend, check me out at BlurredCon. You know, pop up on me, say hi. Really friendly, just say what's up. And I'll see you there. And please subscribe to my channel.
Yes. C is trying to hit her 1,000 as well. So please go support for all of the shorts content over there. Dom with Screen Static Studios. What you got going on, Dom?
Man, y'all come over. We talking about everything. I just started my retro review series of the Alien movies. So I'm doing all of the Alien movies leading up to the new one, Alien Romulus, that comes out in August. And so the first one's up, and they'll be dropping every Monday. Tomorrow is Tuesday, so we doing the Acolyte. So right after the Acolyte, I'll be dropping a video review of that. And also we're doing some theatrical reviews this week. Long Legs comes out. That Tyler Perry movie comes out. And so this, and then we just got all kinds of stuff this month. That Twisters movie comes out, Deadpool and Wolverine. I'll be there for that. So movie reviews, TV reviews, and sci-fi, everything. So come on and subscribe.
Absolutely. And thank y'all for being here. Y'all in the chat, give a shout out to all of these wonderful content creators and please help them reach their goals. Everyone's trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So please go on over, like, comment, share, do the most on their pages. They're creating wonderful content. And thank y'all for being here. Y'all showed out today in the chat and we love you down. For real, for real. Don't forget tomorrow night, Interview with a Vampire, season 1, episode 1. And if you didn't, go check out my recap that I did on Sunday, because you know you know, I got to do a recap for everything. But you guys, we appreciate y'all being here. Thank you so, so much. Have the most amazing night and be safe. And we will see y'all next Monday.
Good DNA test turns out I'm 100%. Even when I'm crying crazy, yeah, I got boy problems. That's the human in me. Bling bling, and I solve them. That's the goddess in me. You put her at a bad, knock a middle. Help you with your career, just a little. You break the homie.